Hello, dear viewers. Today I will take you on a journey through the cold waters of history, filled with tragedy and sorrow. On a freezing January night in 1945, the Wilhelm Gustloff set sail from East Prussia to the western part of Germany. Unaware that it would soon become a tomb submerged deep beneath the waves. Thousands of people placed their hopes of salvation on this ship. But looming over them was the merciless Baltic Sea and a silent threat closing in. Before moving on to the video, subscribe to the channel to support me and don't forget to like and share the video. The Wilhelm Gustloff was built in 1937 as a luxury passenger ship by Nazi Germany. It was a flagship of the Strength Through Joy movement initiated by Hitler, designed to boost the morale of the German people. Every corner of the ship was filled with elegance and comfort. It featured a swimming pool, a gym, and chic restaurants. The Wilhelm Gustloff symbolized Germany's power and prosperity at the time. However, when World War II broke out, the fate of the Wilhelm Gustloff changed. This grand luxury liner was quickly repurposed for military use. It first became a hospital ship, then a training vessel for soldiers. Its days of grandeur were over, and it had become just another tool of war. In January 1945, the civilians living in East Prussia and surrounding areas faced a brutal winter. As Soviet forces advanced, thousands of people fled westward, seeking safety from the approaching Red Army. For them, escaping to a safer part of Germany was their only hope. The Wilhelm Gustloff, one of the few vessels still able to carry people to safety, became a beacon of hope. When the ship departed from East Prussia, it was carrying far more passengers than its capacity allowed. Normally a 2,000-passenger ship, the Gustloff was now overloaded with nearly 10,000 people, women, children, elderly citizens, and even wounded soldiers. They all boarded the ship, hoping for a chance at survival, though fear lingered in the air. Could this ship, sailing amidst the chaos of war, be their salvation? That night, as the Wilhelm Gustloff sailed on, another story was unfolding in the depths of the Baltic Sea. The Soviet submarine S-13, commanded by Captain Alexander Marinesko, had tracked the Gustloff's course. Marinesko and his crew had been waiting for an opportunity like this. Sinking a ship as large as the Wilhelm Gustloff would not only be a strategic victory but also a psychological blow to the Germans. Captain Marinesko focused on the massive silhouette of the Gustloff on his radar and gave the order to launch the torpedoes. Meanwhile, the passengers on board were blissfully unaware of the deadly threat heading their way, peacefully sleeping in their cabins. At 9 p.m., the Wilhelm Gustloff was rocked by the sound of explosions. Soviet torpedoes had struck the ship. The first torpedo hit the crew's quarters, and moments later, the second and third torpedoes tore into the ship's midsection. Panic erupted among the passengers as the ship began to sink rapidly, water flooding in with terrifying speed. The lights went out, and the ship plunged into darkness. In the chaos, screams filled the air as passengers scrambled to escape. But the chance of survival grew slimmer by the second. The ship, once a symbol of luxury, was now an instrument of death. And the ship silently sank into the depths of the sea, and after a short while it disappeared from sight. As the Wilhelm Gustloff sank, the passengers were thrown into the freezing waters of the Baltic Sea. Those who had survived the initial blasts desperately tried to escape the sinking ship. But the cold was merciless. The ship had been carrying a large number of women, children, and the elderly, all of whom faced impossible odds in the icy waters. Even those who managed to find lifeboats or debris to cling to found themselves at the mercy of the sea. Survival in these freezing waters was nearly impossible. The screams and cries for help faded into the night as the cold swallowed all. The night became a haunting reminder of the brutal, unforgiving nature of war. As the minutes passed, more and more lives were lost. By the time the Wilhelm Gustloff finally sank beneath the waves, more than 9,000 lives had been lost. It remains one of the deadliest maritime disasters in history, a tragedy hidden beneath the cold, silent waters of the Baltic Sea. What had once been a ship of grandeur now became a tomb for those who perished that night. The Gustloff disaster stands as a stark reminder of the horrors of war and the innocents lost. The sinking of the Wilhelm Gustloff was not just a maritime disaster, but a symbol of the destruction war brings to the innocent. The thousands of lives lost that night now lie deep within the Baltic Sea, where the ship's wreckage continues to rest silently. The tragedy of the Wilhelm Gustloff will forever serve as a reminder of the brutal cost of war, a cost that can never truly be measured in numbers. Today, the Wilhelm Gustloff lies at the bottom of the sea, its name etched into the annals of history. It serves as a somber symbol of the innocent lives lost in the chaos of war, a reminder that, in the end, there are no winners in such a brutal conflict. Dear viewers, this story will remain in our memories as a story of war and the indescribable pain that war causes innocent people. This ship that sank into silent waters will perhaps one day remind us that wars never have winners.